What is good, YouTube? Back at you guys with another video. As you can see, there is my bike, another bike. There's a ton of videos out there already that have covered this, but figured I'd do my own little version of it. So what I'm doing today is working on this FatBoy. This is my boy Marshall's bike. We're gonna do a Zippers 472 cam install on this thing with a Thunder Max, new push rods, lifters, stuff like that. So on this video, I will not be working on a lowrider. I will be working on the FatBoy. Stick around and hopefully got some cameos. A couple guys are gonna be coming over. Marshall will be coming over to help out with his bike. Eric is supposed to drop by as well. So let's get this started, get this FatBoy up on the lift, get my bike off the lift, and get this video going. All right, bike's up on the lift, as you guys can see. Got the exhaust off, floorboards off, cam chest cover off. That's pretty much all we've done right now, and then take the spark plugs out. I didn't want to record taking exhaust off, floorboard off. You guys pretty much should know how to do that shit. It's pretty easy. Just 1/2-inch bolts for your exhaust, and then T45 torque for your floorboards, and then whatever your exhaust setup is. So we're gonna start tearing into this. Catch up with y'all a little bit later on in this build. All right, we just cut push rods front and rear. Now you got to make sure you have this little tool here to get your pulleys, and that way you're able to get these two bolts here off, top and bottom. Something I've been told is make sure both of your dots here are lining up. That way you know your motor's in timing, so when you put it back in, you put it back exactly the same way you took it off, and then that way you know your motor's in timing. That's just what I've been told from other people that have done this way more than me. This is, like I said, this is my third time doing this. I'm not a professional by any means, but I just listen to people that are more experienced than me. I'm gonna take this cam chain tensioner off now. Then we're gonna pull the pulleys and then pull the cam plate off. We'll get into the cam after that. These actually look really good too, no scarring or nothing. For this to be a 2019, they look really good. See the cam, no scarring or nothing on the cam. This thing was running good. Pull the cam bearing tool. Go ahead and install the new one in there. Also got this tool from Fuel Moto to pull the cams and do the cam, pull the bearing and do the bearing installs. We're going with a Zippers 472 cam for this FatBoy. Zippers was nice enough to include a new cam bearing with the cam. So like a lot of other places, you gotta buy the whole cam assembly, and they'll throw in the bearing. But Zippers sends one with the cam. So Marshall bought a whole kit and he paid for a bearing, and then Zippers still send a bearing with their cam. So I thought that was pretty nice. Go ahead and install this in there. One thing for sure, always throw some assembly lube on that bearing and then on the cam, and all your components, engine components that'll be kind of rubbing and stuff when you go to start up. New bearing going in, no issues so far. Everything coming along perfect. New bearings in there. Old bearing right here. The newer bearings have more teeth. See, the teeth are like spread out on this one. Redshift 472 going in. Let's put a little bit of lube on there. And go ahead and put the oil pump and then the cam chest plate back in. Let's get these new seals in here and get it back in there. Let's get these bolts in here. All of them got Loctited already for the YouTube mechanics. Go ahead and snug them up, and then these are 120 inch-pounds on the torque spec. I gotta look up the pattern though to get them snugged up. I don't know.
Yeah, we got the right.
Filters are in there. We're just torquing everything down now. It's 24 foot-pounds, 34 foot-pounds on the top. And then we're gonna put the cam chest cover on, put the push rods in. This is pretty much it. And put the exhaust and everything back on. Torque down. Rear intake push rod is set. We'll do exhaust now on the rear. Then we're gonna let it sit for a couple minutes and then move on to the front. So when you set these, from what I've been told, once you set them, lock them in place, let them bleed out for a little while. That way you get proper setting on them. So real quick, something I learned from installing push rods, and I want to shout out the homie Greg up in PA. I think he's in PA, Jersey, PA now. But Jersey, PA area, the homie Greg, I called him. The first time I did this on my bike, I was nervous as hell adjusting the push rods just because I wanted it to be right, So the way he explained to me, when you do the rear push rods, you want it to be dead center. So you want this bottom indentation on your sprocket and then the indentation on your top sprocket to meet. So you want them to be lined up right here for the rear. When you do the front push rods, you want this sprocket, you want to give it a full rotation where this sprocket goes all the way around back here, but now your indentation timing mark is right here, and you can barely see it, but it's like right there behind that chain. And that I forget what they call it, but that's where your push rods on the front cylinder are dead center, so to speak, where there's no lift, whatever, no sag or whatever. So that's when you install the front push rods. And that's just like a little tip. I don't know if I've seen that on the previous videos on YouTube, but just thought I'd share that with you guys if you're doing the install yourself. And that's the way I've done it. Done it on my bike, done it on Eric's bike, and no issues, man. Like when we did Eric's bike, it's crazy. We like, oh, we need like 500 mile run time, you know, before, you know, we were heading to Daytona. We were trying to get it done. Unfortunately, we didn't get done till late. And his 500 miles was on the commute to Daytona, so he put over 900 miles going down and 900, and then riding around while we were in Daytona, and over 900 miles coming back, and no issues. Same thing with my bike, no issues. The thing with these cam installs is, man, just take your time.
And especially if it's like, if you're like new to it, like I recommend just reading up on it a lot. Watch a lot of videos or read. Fuel Moto has a bunch of good videos on these cam installs. JP Cycles has a real good video on these installs. Tucker Speed has a real good video as well. Before I did mine, I just looked at the videos and reached out to people in the community that have done it, and man, that helps when you have good people that you can talk to and ask questions, bounce stuff back and forth off of them. But yeah, man, like it's not hard. These shops, I mean, local shops are pretty, as far as like what I've seen from, you know, the time that it takes, they charge you pretty decent. Harley for sure is taxing on cam installs. You know, I think if you're pretty mechanically inclined, you can do it yourself. Then go get it tuned. Go take the bike to a tuner and get them tuned afterwards. But it's not hard, man. It's not hard. Let's keep it going. I'm gonna show you guys. Hopefully you can focus there. That's the sequence. Is between 90 to 120 inch-pounds. See if you guys will screenshot that right there. Typically what I do, since it's 90 to 120, I do like 95, then do like 115, and then 120, just to like kind of slowly bring it up. But that is the sequence. You guys screenshot it. Let's get this torque down real quick. All right, back at the garage, day 2 of this cam install. Got everything pretty much together. Push rods in there. Cam chest plate back together. We're just gonna put the cam cover on here. Put the new air cleaner Marshall got. He got a Trask Assault, the chrome air cleaner. We won't be able to start it up today. Oh, we also put the Thunder Max in there once we get it closed up. We won't be able to start it up today because Marshall is keeping his stock exhaust. I know I was suggesting go to a 2-to-1, nice chrome 2-to-1 on his FatBoy would have looked real good, but he's keeping his chrome exhaust. We will get that back tomorrow because he took it to the exhaust shop. They're gonna take the 12mm stock bungs off. The O2 sensor bungs are gonna take those off and weld on some new 18mm bungs for the wideband O2 sensors. So we'll get the Thunder Max, get all that installed. When we get the exhaust tomorrow, we will install the exhaust and fire her up. We'll have footage of that. So that's just what we'll be doing today. But yeah, let's wrap this up. Trask air cleaner going in, clean that old gasket residue off of there. She's coming along, keep it going. ECM out. It's stock ECM. Thunder Max is in there. Routed the wideband O2 sensors there. Eric is over here plugging the stock O2 sensors. And we're pretty much done, man. We're waiting on Marshall to get back with the stock exhaust headers that he went and got the 12mm bungs cut off and the 18mm O2 bung sensors welded on, because he wanted to keep his 2-to-2 with the Vance and Hines slip-ons on there. I personally would have took those off and went with a chrome 2-to-1. I think it would have looked a lot better, performed a lot better, but hey, everyone does what they want to do to their bike. Let's keep it moving.